my beautiful little single unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa and I, and I would like to welcome you into the fam. To all of my beautiful singles, you're just in time for another love reading that's dedicated to you. So in today's love reading, I have prepared 4 groups that you can choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 crystals intuitively. And you may have also noticed my new and improved sound quality, but despite already owning a mic, and I did not cheap out on it, it was really expensive. It was a Rode mic that hooked up to my camera. There was just no fighting my filming room on the echo. So I got a beautiful little headset microphone from Mr. Samina for Valentine's Day. So it's not really a gift for me, is it? It's more for you. Almost like I'm sharing my man with you. To be fair, you guys are the only ones that I would trust with my man. Speaking of men, do not feel like this reading is in any way, shape, or form tied to specific genders whatsoever. My channel is all-inclusive, so if I do not use a they pronoun, because some of the cards are knights or queens, so if I use she, do know that that is interchangeable with they. Anyways, you guys, I got completely carried away. Let's get back to the 4 groups that I have prepared for today. Group number 1 represents the Carnelian. Group number 2 represents the orange Calcite. Group number 3 represents the shadow Angel Aura Quartz. And group number 4 represents the Labradorite Sphere. So as usual, the timestamps to all 4 groups are located in the description box, as well as pinned to the comment section for quick and easy access. So once you have picked a crystal, all you need to do is click the corresponding timestamp and you will be fast forwarded to the relevant part of the video. And that part of the video contains your reading, just to make it clear for anyone who is here for the first time. And also, if you enjoy these types of videos, find them helpful, and also find that you leave the video feeling more encouraged and happier than when you started watching the video, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, as well as turn on that notification bell in order to never miss another reading. It's free, it's easy, and I have been consistently posting for the past years, so you know that you can count on me. So anyways, you guys, I made this intro really long, a lot longer than necessary, so let's get into it. I will be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Carnelian, and to all of my other lovely groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Carnelian. Now, group number 1, let's do a little close-up of your stone, shall we? This is the beautiful Carnelian. I absolutely love this stone and find it really powerful when using it during a meditation. So I will leave your stone just over here for you to have a look at whenever you feel like during the reading. But let's get into it to figure out exactly what's happening in your love life. So we have Apocalypsis, great start, right? We have the Castle, as well as Gnosis. Fear not, group number 1. Apocalypsis sounds a lot more dramatic than it really is. It's not about any type of apocalypse of your love life. I want you to know here in Apocalypsis that you actually have an opportunity to start afresh. So if there is any situationship that is present, or just overall you're not very happy or satisfied with your love life, do know that this means that there is a fresh beginning ahead of you. Now, not being happy with your love life does not mean that you're not happy because you're single. Maybe you're not happy because you feel like you're not really as connected with yourself as you once were, or you feel like you're just kind of in a weird place, and it has nothing to do with whether there is another person present for you romantically or not. Do know that Apocalypsis takes all of that into account, and that this does foreshadow a fresh beginning that you're going to feel a lot more kind of like warmth from, okay? A fresh beginning of a new cycle in your love life. I can see that here in the Castle, that makes you feel taken care of, that makes you feel nurtured. I can see here in Gnosis that when it comes to your love life, you are being called to accept any opportunity that comes your way to meet a new person. Now, that does not mean that this has to be your soulmate or your twin flame, but just be open-minded, because one thing that I do see that is coming with your fresh beginning and fresh start that we spoke about in Apocalypsis in the Castle is that sometimes it can get a little lonely in the castle, and you can sometimes only want to allow for like a white knight or a princess to come near you, when, you know, sometimes the real kings, queens, princesses, knights, just the people that we want to be with, they come in disguise. They're not always packaged in the way that you would expect them to be packaged. And by packaged, I mean they don't always look the way we would expect them to look. So try to deviate a little further from physical appearances than you usually would, because the person who you're meant to be with or an ideal partner for you is most likely not who you thought they were, because often we have this depiction of who we think we should be with, but it's not actually the ideal fit. It just looks good. Next up, we have the turquoise. And now in the turquoise, one thing that I can see here is that your true beliefs and your core kind of needs are becoming clearer to you. And you might already have had a feeling of the fact that your picker is maybe off. So with your picker being off, I mean picking the same toxic people or the same people who just aren't good for you romantically or spiritually. So I can see here in the turquoise that for all of my beautiful singles who chose group number 1, your real needs and the real kind of things that matter to you are becoming clearer and clearer. And this is very helpful when embarking on your journey towards love or towards just being in a healthy space when it comes to your relationship with love. Next, we have rubellite. So in the rubellite, I can see here that the best thing for you to do is to focus on what you're passionate about. I can see that you're the most attractive when you're really enthusiastic, group number 1. So that energy and motivation that you put out is something that is infectious, and it's something that people love to see and people love to be around. And a future partner is really going to appreciate you authentically allowing yourself to shine and authentically showing off what your passions really are. So your passion being something that you're never ashamed of, no matter how lame you think your passion is. I mean, at the end of the day, with enough motivation, enthusiasm, as well as passion for something, you can make anything interesting, whether it's the fact that you love to knit or sew, or whether you like to dance. Next, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So I can see here in the 10 of Pentacles that when it comes to your career, you're moving into a space that is full of abundance, but you may also kind of forget about love altogether because you're so focused on creating abundance financially as well as in the material realm. So you're really kind of more focused on your work, more focused on your earthly success, and that's something that's really good because it shows you're not hung up on any type of romantic relationship. I can see here in the King of Swords that this is someone who's interested in you, group number 1. So the King of Swords is an air sign. Think Libra, think Aquarius. I can see here in the King of Swords that this is a type of person who is really strong-minded. This is a type of person who could be maybe very jealous at times just because their mind races a lot and their thoughts go everywhere. Okay, so this is a very Gemini type of energy that I'm getting here in the King of Swords, but don't forget about Libra and Aquarius. Those are two other signs that of course correspond to the element of air who are interested in you right now, and that may be depicted here in the King of Swords. But let's find out who this person really is. So in the King of Swords, I can already see that they're older than you, they're more mature than you. I can see here that they're the type of person who always does the most. Okay, they do the best that they possibly can. So they're going to try to impress you when they're getting to know you. This is the type of person who is going to be very open about liking you and being interested in you. They're not going to keep it a secret. So they're mature. They're very open about what they like and what they want. Next, we have I remain in balance with my emotions. So this ties in really beautifully with the fact that we found out that they are a king and that they are very mature. So that balance kind of goes without say. So there's another card that's hiding right here. Okay, they're humble. Okay, I see why that was hiding hiding, group number 1. The fact that they're humble, okay? So that makes a lot of sense why that card was hiding. When you're humble, when you have a lot of humility, it's not something that you need to boast about. It's not something that you say. It's just who you are. So that is really like a very clever way of the universe to have spoken in your reading about this person who's interested in you being humble. So if that is something that you really like, group number 1, make sure that you don't keep those walls that you've built around your castle too high, and that you're open to this opportunity if you feel like your schedule permits and allows. But it's really great that you're able to focus on your career, your professional life, and that you're focused on building security for yourself first, because that is something that we all need to create in order to not depend on another human being in a romantic relationship. Now, group number 1, this is the reading that I received for you, and I really hope that you enjoyed it and found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section what hit home for you, and also leave a little flame emoji down below if you thought that this reading was amazing. Now, group number 1, thank you so much for sharing this divine space with me, and I'll see you in another one of my videos. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the orange calcite, group number 2, which is a beautiful stone. Let's do a close-up. Let's not put your orange calcite away so soon. So this is what it looks like. It is an absolutely beautiful, kind of like yellow orange type stone. It has a very vibrant type of energy that comes with it, which is why I personally love it a lot, and maybe why you chose it. But let's move into your reading. We have the hunter, we have the riddle, as well as the vision. So one thing that I can see here, group number 2, is that when it comes to love, what's coming next for you is really this hunter energy of going for what it is that you desire, not being afraid to go for what you want. So have you ever had this feeling like, oh, well, I would really like to be with this person who takes care of themselves, who's kind, who has an amazing professional life, an amazing career, and just a list of a lot of things that you thought, well, it's probably too much. I'm probably never going to get that person. I can see here in the hunter that quite the contrary is happening for you, group number 2. I can see that you're spotting an opportunity. I see here in the riddle that there's this amazing person who's wrapped in this riddle of just mystery, but at the same time, you know that this is the right person. This is somebody who has all of those qualities, and you're not going to be afraid to try and see whether it will work romantically between you and this person. I can see here in the vision that you're kind of already envisioning your life with this person, your future with this person. So you allowing your imagination to kind of run wild when thinking about this person is a great getaway for you from just your daily routine and daily life. I can see here in the amethyst that you will intuitively know who this person is. So this person is still coming towards you, group number 2. This is not somebody that's in your life just yet, but I can see in the amethyst that you will know exactly who they are as soon as they appear within your life. Another important message that the amethyst is trying to communicate with you, group number 2, is to be yourself right from the beginning, to not hide any of your quirks, your flaws, the things that make you you. As I can see here in the hunter, that is something that's important for you to make public and to allow them to see and have the privilege of knowing, because only in that way will they understand that you are the one and you have what it takes to be their soulmate and their twin flame. Next, we have the Moldavite. I can see that they are into you and they love you unconditionally. I can see that these things that make you very unique are an important part of not only your purpose, but also what makes you attractive. So the things that you maybe thought were too weird or too quirky about you, or maybe you're into something that you think is too morbid, like for example, taxidermy, or you think you're a little too weird because you're into some sort of expressive art form. I want you to know in the Moldavite that is something that they appreciate and they love, and they feel like they can learn a lot from you when it comes to these aspects and things. Next, we have the aquamarine as well as the calcite. So the calcite, having showed up, is really kind of like an amplification of the energy that we have present in the orange calcite, which is the crystal that you chose, group number 2. So I want you to know here in the calcite that this energy being amplified is really a sign that your angels and your guides are trying to encourage you to take time of to take charge, not take time, take charge of your busy schedule, to take charge of your time, and to honestly assess the reasons, the underlying reasons as to why you're busy. And are you being busy, or are you being effective and productive? Because it's easy to be busy. We can be busy all day, but does that mean that you're really getting things done? Does that mean that you're really carving out enough time for a potential lover to come into your life? Group number 2, you got to be honest with yourself, and you have got to roll up your sleeves and put in the necessary work to make time and create time for a romantic opportunity to arise. But of course, if that's not something you're interested in right now, then you know that you're on the right track, and continuing to schedule in your work the way you're doing it right now, or your friends and family, and not leaving any time for a potential romance to be able to develop and kind of get a foothold in your life, you're on the right track for that. But again, just to make it very clear, group number 2, so you know exactly what to implement when you're done with this reading, if you do want to make space for romance, if you do want to make space for a potential partner, you have to take charge of your schedule and make sure that there's enough time to even meet this person and get to know them. Next, we have the aquamarine. So the aquamarine kind of foreshadows how important it is for you to trust the signs of your inner guidance, because that will lead you to fulfillment. So if you've ever been talking to somebody or in contact with someone who you've just had a weird feeling about, or you just always felt like they weren't being honest, or like maybe somebody else was in the picture, trust that gut feeling, trust those red flags, and most importantly, really look at someone's actions, not just what they're saying, especially in love. I want to be that bigger sister that's encouraging you to just be honest and be real with yourself, because I've been there, I've done that. I don't want you to go through the same thing. A lot of people will promise you the world romantically, but of course they will never deliver, because making a promise is so much easier than actually delivering and sticking to it. So never settle for somebody who just makes promises and can't follow up on those promises, especially if they promise just something small, like to call you, to text you, to let you know what's going on, then they can't even follow through on that. Okay, big red flag. Stay away from any types of people who do that. I can see here in the 8 of Cups, all of my beautiful group number 2 unicorns, is that you have to just walk away from anyone who is emotionally abusive. So this could be romantically, this could also be a friendship or a relationship within your family, as I can see here in the 8 of Cups, that you walking away is the best thing at this point in time. Because if you continue to stay, you will continue to enable and continue to be abused. Next, we have temperance. So, you know, just take everyone in small doses, especially if this is someone who you can't go no contact on. So somebody who you can't just move away from because they're a family member, they're extended family, or they're just somebody who you know will pop up again, whether it be a coworker or a boss who is kind of toxic. Take them in small doses and try to create some sort of distance between you and that person as much as possible. I can see here in the 8 of Swords that you may feel a little bit of despair coming up when it comes to distancing yourself from people who don't have your best intentions at heart. But that is again where you have to look into that temperance part, look into that part that we spoke about in this card, that is extending to you the advice of doing everything in an appropriate dosage, in an appropriate amount. Okay, try to stay away from anybody who stresses you out, because I do see that that's not going to to help you whatsoever. So let's do one last card for you, group number 2, shall we? We have the Four of Cups. So I can see here in the Four of Cups that it is important for you to give things a little bit of time. As I can see here in the Four of Cups, that sometimes you can get a little impatient, group number 2, and I'm not trying to call you out. I'm just letting you know exactly what it is that I see. So being impatient is something that will have you frustrated and alone for longer than necessary, and being impatient is something that will make you rush into those toxic relationships that you should not be in, okay? That you, quite frankly speaking, need to stay far away from, especially if you've already witnessed friends, family members, or maybe you were the victim of some toxic relationships. Maybe your parents never had all that great of a relationship, and that is a clear sign now for you to just kind of detox from any of those types of ways of interacting with other people and any of those types of romantic relationships being present in your life, because it's a bad influence, and allowing yourself to think that that's okay is just going to end up in you potentially passing on that type of ancestral hurt and trauma that is already present, that doesn't need to be passed on or doesn't need to exist. It ends and it stops with you, group number 2. You're deserving. You're the type of person who can get that human being that you think is way out of your league, as I can see here in the Hunter, that first and foremost, what's coming next for you in love is believing in yourself. And if anything takes a turn that was unexpected, don't give up, group number 2. That's something that's really important for you to know. That's a message that I see that your guides want you to get from this reading. So group number 2, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little horse emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end and that this is the group that you ended up choosing. Know that I'm thinking of you. I'm so appreciative of having been able to spend this time with you, and I'll see you in another one of my videos. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Shadow Angel Aura Quartz. Let me give you a quick close-up of your stone. So this is what it looks like. It's absolutely gorgeous. Such a beautiful stone. There we go. So let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what's coming next for you in your love life. So we have the Heart, the Pilgrim, as well as the Mountain. So one thing that I can see for you, group number 3, in the Heart, is definitely that your heart chakra is something that's healing and is something that's coming to a place of strength. So if you feel like you've been hurt in the past, or you feel as though certain people have chiseled away at your self-confidence, you're rebuilding that. You're regaining that strength, which is really essential for any romantic relationship that is healthy to be able to establish itself in your life. Because when you're not confident, then you may attract people along the way who really are not good people to be with. Let's just put it that way. I can see here in the Pilgrim that there's definitely still a bit of a journey ahead of you, group number 3, before you get to your desired postcode of where your love life, your dream love life resides. But nevertheless, there's a lot of healing happening and a lot of strengthening of who you are and being able to express yourself without feeling any sense of insecurity or like you don't belong, okay? You're getting rid of any of those emotions. I can see here in the Aqua Aura that healthy communication is something that's coming next in your relationships. So finding a way to communicate in a healthy manner with friends and with family who you know are toxic, but you also know you can't avoid them. So I can see here in the Aqua Aura that having heart-to-heart discussions, being very clear about what you will tolerate and what you won't, is actually not something that's just going to help your other platonic relationships, but it's really going to help you romantically as well, because it's going to make you strong and make you unafraid to say what you desire and what you're not okay with. Next, we have the Tanzanite. So in the Tanzanite, we have this notion of being ready to love again. And that's one thing that we already spoke about in the Heart and the Mountain, strengthening yourself, strengthening your heart chakra, opening up your heart chakra. And I can see here that Next is really you being healed up from the past enough to be able to open your heart for new love. And that's something that is becoming abundantly clear, not just to you, but to everyone around you as well. I see here in the amethyst that trusting your intuition is what's the most important thing for you when it comes to romantic love. So if you already feel like there are red flags, or if you kind of feel as though there is this toxic cycle or pattern that you find yourself in with people after a few weeks or months, listen to that gut feeling early on in the relationship before you get yourself too deep into a situation that might even end up being dangerous, because whether it's physical or verbally abusive partners, that does have a lasting impact on you as well as your self-confidence. So stay away from that, because your renewed energy is really not worth wasting on someone who doesn't respect you. Group number 3. Next we have I benefit with gratitude. So I see that being on the receiving end is something that you do in a very graceful manner, and you're being pushed to continue to be okay with receiving. So being okay with people surprising you with beautiful gifts or beautiful dates, and not feeling like that's out of place or something that you should constantly be thanking the person for. If they did so willingly, just gracefully accept. I can see here in I do the best that I can that you're kind of a little bit of a perfectionist. Now, all of the Virgos and Libras out there might be shaking right now. So when it comes to love, that is good to try to do the best that you can. But also make sure that you're doing the best you can for someone who's like giving you the same in return. Group number 3, not trying to do the best you can doing acrobatics for somebody who's not even going to learn to touch their toes for you. You know what I mean, group number 3? So there has to be reciprocity, and you have to be unafraid to receive and to be the one who is being pampered. Because when you go into a relationship with too much masculinity, and this goes for females and males, if there's just too much masculine energy, we all have divine female and divine masculine energy, so divine feminine, divine masculine energy is what I meant to say. So if you have too much of one, it is really not a great foundation to start your relationship off on, and that person may always expect you to be more on the masculine side, and this is especially difficult if you consider yourself to be more on the feminine side. I can see here in the Devil that that is something that you have to address. Okay, why do you feel this need to be more masculine, as in, for example, not allowing somebody to gift you with something, or not allowing somebody to just do something for you? Why do you feel the strong need to exert this energy of independence to a point where you're not receiving? You know what I mean? Where somebody wants to give you something, but you're just not allowing it to happen, even though it's crystal clear you didn't ask for it. This is just something they want to do for you. So group number 3, address that, as I can see here in the Devil that that's really a sneaky way of messing up your relationships. It's almost like self-sabotage. I can see here in the King of Pentacles that you like to be in control. You don't want to ever have anybody think that you depend on them. That's one thing that I see in the King of Pentacles. But one thing that I also see in the King of Pentacles is that the ideal person for you to be with is an earth sign who is dependable, who is strong, and who is well established in their career. So somebody who has very boss-like energy, CEO type energy, CFO type energy. They have all of their finances in a row. They have themselves put together. So you don't end up with somebody who takes advantage of the fact that you are self-sufficient, that you are independent, and that you don't need them. Because that is one of the major kind of difficulties that I see for you, group number 3, that when you take on a lot of the tasks, or you do a lot for people early on in romantic relationships, they start to lean back and take advantage of that because they're so used to you picking up slack, whether it be financial slack, emotional slack, or even just when you're with somebody cleaning up and they feel like they can just kick up their feet and chill. No, okay, group number 3, make sure that there's some fairness here. Even if you love to give, remind yourself that being a giver is something amazing, but it also means that you have the responsibility to set boundaries, because takers often don't know when to stop taking, even if there's no ill intent there. So group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope that you found it insightful, enlightening, and that you enjoyed it. Leave a little money bag emoji down below just as a little token of good luck and to let me and others know that this is the group that you ended up choosing. Know that I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you in another one of my readings. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Labradorite Sphere. This is one of my personal faves. Just look at that. I mean, honestly, this is such a beautiful stone. Depending on how the light hits it, it glistens in these beautiful hues of blue. We have actually just restocked this stone in my crystal store. I will leave the link down below for any of you who are interested in one of these stones for your crystal collection. Okay, so we'll leave the little guy back here so he doesn't accidentally roll away, but let's move into your reading. So we have the offering, we have the river, as well as the village. Now group number 4, let's talk about what's going on here in your love life. I can see here in the village that there are a lot of people who are interested in what's coming next for you in love. They may not admit to it, they may not tell you just how nosy that they really are, but their actions speak louder than their words. And quite frankly speaking, like everybody around you, they want to know what's coming next in your love life, okay? They are some nosy bitches, if you know what I mean. I can see here in the river that it's important for you to not allow that to get you out of your flow and not allow that to have you make decisions that you otherwise wouldn't make. Just think about it. When you know that, for example, family is expecting you to meet somebody or to go out with somebody, that may have you in a relationship that you otherwise wouldn't be in because you were just thinking, okay, let me just be with someone so I can not have to listen to, oh, what's happening in your love life? Have you met anybody? Like, maybe I should just get married so they can stop bugging me about getting married. So depending on what your background is, especially if you have traditional parents from certain places in the world, they may have expectations for marriage, for kids, or maybe they have expectations of you not being with somebody, and then you take action just to please them. You hide your partner because either they don't like the type of partner that you're with for whatever reason, because they look a certain way, or because they're this gender or whatever, or they just don't want you to be with anyone, period. So then you're pretending, right? You're offering something that isn't for you to offer. You shouldn't be offering your soul. You shouldn't be offering your mental well-being, and in a sense also your self-worth, because you are dimming yourself. You are doing something that you don't want to do just to kind of quiet the noise, just to block everybody out who feels like they have a right to have an opinion about your love life, group number 4. And that's something that you're being called to be really cautious with, and to make sure that all of the decisions that you make romantically stem from a place that you know is authentic, not from a place that you were forced into. Next, we have gold. So I can see here in gold that this is almost like a divine intervention. You seeing this reading is truly a sign that you have to listen to it. You have to listen to being authentic, listen to your heart, and make sure that you're not allowing for other people to decide over your love life. So consider this a divine intervention, group number 4, and know that there's a reason why you're here. And I do want to empower you on your journey to love, or to loving yourself more. Maybe you're not even interested in being with anybody right now. I can see here in the sodalite that it's important for you to not retract from social groups, okay? To not kind of go into hermit mode and be afraid to be around other people because you're worried about them bringing up questions about love. It is important for you, as I can see here in the sodalite, to socialize, to join in, be unafraid to unapologetically be yourself and set those boundaries, draw those lines in the sand. If somebody continuously brings up something that you don't want to talk about, like for example, when you're getting married, when you're having kids, or when you're finally going to focus on yourself, just draw that line and set that boundary and tell them that you did not come here to discuss that and they should mind their own business. Next, we have I speak with good intent. So you don't need to do this in any type of vicious way. You don't need to do this in any type of mean way. You just have to make it very clear that you are an assertive person and that people need to back off with their opinions, and they need to focus more on what's going on in their love life rather than yours, because you've got yours under control. I can see here, and I keep the waters pure, that it's important for you to do this so that you don't end up being really resentful. Because when you allow people to walk all over you or to butt into your business, this often comes with a lot of buildup of resentment, especially with parents who are very traditional, or parents who come from certain areas of the globe where the expectations are kind of set in stone. And it's almost like you're being heckled, not just by them, but by the entire society to be a certain way. It's important for you to set these boundaries so you don't feel resentful towards parents, towards the society that you live in, or towards the people who are trying to have you live that way, not out of them wanting to be bad or wishing bad upon you, but because they just don't even think as far as to why are we doing this as a society. You know what I mean? They don't even have that thought process. Next we have I live in truth. Group number 4, live your truth. Stop hiding. If you're in the closet, literally, this is really a sign for you to start living your truth, to get out there, to be able to get some oxygen. If you've been in the closet about a relationship, whether it be because you're with someone that you're not supposed to be with, or you feel like people won't approve, get out of there. Live your truth. This is not a time for you to suffocate yourself or your relationship just to make other people happy. Remind yourself, group number 4, that if other people can't be happy for you, then what's the point in having them in your life? If other people can't see that you're happy and embrace whatever it is that's making you happy, there's no point in seeking their approval. Next we have I offer words of good intent. So again, you don't need to feel like you're stirring anything. You just want to live your life and be yourself, group number 4. Your love reading really turned into something that I think we both did not expect. I sincerely did not expect all of this heavy weight being present in your love reading, but I can see here that you have a lot of feelings of guilt when setting boundaries. You don't want to disappoint. You don't want to kind of put the wrong energy out there. And I get that, group number 4. I really do, you know. And it is important for you to remind yourself that as long as you're not hurting anybody and you are communicating with a very kind and calm demeanor what you will accept and what you will not accept, and where your boundaries lie, that is not a crime, that is your right. And to remind yourself that, especially when you're dealing with people who maybe have very narcissistic personality traits, it doesn't matter what you do, they will always be the victim, so steer clear. I can see here in the Knight of Swords that there is somebody present who has air sign energy, so think Libra, think Gemini, think Aquarius. I can see here in the Knight of Swords that they are willing to fight for you if only you give them the green light. I do also see here in the 9 of Wands that it's important for you to not isolate yourself from them. This is someone who really cares about you, and I do see that they feel a little bit alone. I can see here in the Knight of Swords that this person who is wanting to be involved with you romantically just needs that green light and that affection from you, and for you to stand by the relationship and to be unafraid to embrace it. I see here in the 5 of Wands that there's definitely a little bit of a time ahead for you in love where you feel like you're fighting the opposition, where you feel like you're kind of doing your best to move forward and get yourself out of a difficult situation, get yourself towards freedom, towards liberty. But it's important for you to not give up and to also choose your battles. There are some people who have decided to misunderstand you, and it's important to not waste your time on those people and instead to focus on making decisions that resonate with you. That's one thing that I see here in the 2 of Wands. Group number 4, we've had a lot of Wands show up in the last minutes of your reading. We had the 9 of Wands, we had the 5 of Wands, now the 2 of Wands. Now the Wands is the suit that corresponds to the element of fire. And the suit of Wands is a suit of taking action, of making decisions, and of doing what is right for you, what you feel passionate about, not what's going to give you the most social or financial freedom or security, doing exactly what it is that feels good for you and right for you. So group number 4, your love reading is really about liberating yourself, empowering yourself, and finding a way to live in your truth rather than feeling like you're compromising your life just to make other people happy. So group number 4, I really do hope that you appreciate how honest that I was in this reading. It was a very unconventional love reading, but maybe you just needed that. Maybe you're just an unconventional person altogether. So I hope that you enjoyed these messages and found them insightful. Know that I'm thinking of you, and I'm so proud of you for making it this far into the reading, not turning it off, and hearing these messages, and maybe even already planning on how you can liberate yourself and free yourself. And know that it is okay for you to do things in your own time. Just make sure that you're not compromising your integrity and your self-love for anyone else, even if it's like an extra day, okay? Liberate yourself and love yourself first, group number 4. So we're at the end of your reading. Make sure that you leave a little snake emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end and that you're getting rid of any snakes in your life. Know that I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you in another one of my videos.